Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Leafy Camo Podcast, where we fully cover all things Pokemon. Today, I'm joined, as always, by Dallas White and Bobby Lawler. Shout out to Bobby actually having a camera today. Isn't that awesome? So, yeah, it's pretty good. So, I'm, of course, your host, Cody Brown. And, so today, we have a few topics going on. We are going to be talking about league challenges, cups, what to expect, and all that other fun stuff. And because I noticed that we had a lot of people that didn't really know what was really going on at league cups and league challenges, so I thought that it might be a nice time for us to talk about like what to expect, what to do at when preparing for a league cup and stuff like that, and go from there. We are also going to be taking a look at some deck lists from some Japanese formats, which is pretty awesome. We have a lot of really cool cards upcoming in our new Paldea Evolve set, but of course Japan gets them earlier, and we are going to be able to take a look at what's performing well for them over there. And then we're going to wrap it up with just what's going on in our area and what we're planning on doing this weekend. So before we get on into it, Dallas, how was your weekend?
I did my first ever set of challenges on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was rough, finished 2-2, made a couple critical misplays, and went back on Sunday to Otaku Hangout and was able to pull third and pick up 10 points. So I was happy about that. My first ever Pokemon
There we
points.
go. Very nice. Bobby, how about you? How'd you do this weekend? What'd you do?
Absolutely hard. Well, I went 2-2. I bricked really hard in the match 4. And then Sunday, I didn't go to Otaku Hangout. To me, there was no point for it. Other than that, I did okay-ish.
That's good.
If I would have won my match, I would have got third, but I didn't.
Dallas, I'm pretty sure you played Lugia at both events, right? So you're on that Lugia grind, and Bobby, I think you played Arctina with the Vulpix in it, so that's pretty neat. So.
Yeah, the Vulpix was sick.
I saw you definitely annoy a few Gardevoir players that day with that, so that was nice. Of course, I judged the challenge up there at Gamers Alley on Saturday. It was pretty fun. We had 13 players, nothing too bad. I had to give one penalty the entire tournament. Somebody double supported and shuffled his hand into his deck with already, and I'm just like, yeah, unfortunately, bro, there's not much I can do about that. That's irreparable. But for the most part, pretty good. Everybody was pretty chill. It was a great event, and everybody just had a good time. I think a lot of people came in later in the day of the regular 3:30 time, thinking that it was a challenge. So maybe we'll have to work on some promotion or getting people more informed about what the hell's going on. But for the most part, was a good weekend nonetheless, I think. So, so that's pretty much about it. Did you guys feel good about your deck choices for the tournaments? And just anything else that you would like to say before we hop into our first topic of the day?
Honestly, on my deck, I was pretty happy with it. I've been playing Lugia for all of 1 week now, so it's a pretty new venture. Definitely a learning curve and making sure I don't make misplays as far as attaching double turbos and forgetting that I'm losing 20. I'm like, cool, I'm attacking for 20 less. I didn't account for that. But it's rookie mistake.
It's all good. You'll get there. Bobby, did you I hear
I should have just
I was gonna say, I think that you're kind of done with your Arctina arc. I think we're going to be moving on back to the old reliable.
So I love Arctina. I love Arceus decks. With the amount of Mew, I should have just played Lost Box. I would have won the mirror match on my third game easily. The first round I should have definitely won, but I decided to play the wrong deck. I feel it's all right, but it is what it is.
That's
now.
fair. So, But yeah, overall, pretty good weekend. We'll talk about more on what's coming up next at the end of the podcast when we go into like an event locator and stuff. But for now, let's go ahead and just pop over here to the Play Pokemon. I just noticed I didn't fix Dallas's camera, but that's okay. I'll fix that here in just a second. But I'll fix that whenever I let you guys go in on a tangent. But anyway, so we have the main page here of Play Pokemon. So this is like your launching point for getting into events and stuff like that. We of course have like the breakdowns of the Championship Series, the Championship Series events, and stuff like that, and then of course the event locator, which we usually see, and all that fun stuff. So this is a good little place to start. We have a couple things talking about like the rotation and the like, and that's pretty much about it. But we're talking about tournaments today. So we have basically 4 major events that are available to everybody. We have the League Challenges, the League Cups, the special events / regionals. They are kind of classified as the same thing, and the international championships. So, or the ICs, as we refer to them as. So, League Challenges are more or less like your smaller local events that you're going to be seeing, run by the local stores, and you can see quite a few of them on the week. So every store gets to have 3 challenges per quarter. So pretty much once a month you're going to have a challenge at a store, which is really cool. So this is kind of like the breakdown of the points. Bobby, you're a little bit more you know about like this breakdown of this points. Go ahead, talk to the people about what all these points mean and stuff like that while I fix the podcast.
So basically, you need the points to make worlds. You need, now it's 350. It used to be 500. Basically, every time you go to a regional, you go to like a challenge or a cup, and you top, you get your points. They all count for worlds. I'm not exactly sure how many points a regional gives you for a win.
We'll see that in a second.
200.
We'll see that in a second. We're breaking them all down, so but yeah.
But for a challenge, you get 15 for winning. You get 12 for second. Third and fourth get 10, and if you get 5 through 8, it's 8 points. So
that's based on a kicker system. If you notice this other number here on the right. That is a kicker system. So pretty much if you have that many players at an event, that also increases the amount of points that are given out. So if you have 24 players at an event, which is not unreasonable for a challenge, top 8 gets points, which is pretty great. If you go up to 48, which is a little on the high end for challenges, but I have seen it before, top 16 does. But yeah, and then 100, which is kind of seems like a very arbitrary number, when we have 24, 48 and then it pumps all the way to 100. I don't know, which is not really going to happen ever. You're gonna get top 32 points for a challenge. But yeah, so this is pretty much the bread and butter of your events that you're going to go to every month. So every weekend pretty much you can hit up 1, 2, maybe 3 if they're timed out pretty well for your challenges. And these are your smaller events. These are basically going to be your locals. So a lot of challengers are going to be run as best of 1, and that's a discussion that we can have as well once we get a little bit farther into like talking about cups as well, best of 1 versus best of 3. But there is so that's pretty much about it. So keep an eye out for challenges. They're usually more chilled out events, and then we get to talk about the League Cups. So Dallas, you've never done a League Cup before, but I believe this weekend is going to be your first League Cup. Are you excited? Are you interested? What do you expect?
I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I think they have openings for 72, if I'm not mistaken, or 70 people. So it's nice. I think they've already got that 3/4 of the way full. So optimistically, I'm looking at hopefully top 16, so I can grab those 20 points at least. With the kicker addendum. I'm I'm excited just because I've been trying to grind this Lugia deck to see exactly what can happen with it, and I finally got my hands on the single strike Yveltal.
Hey, let's go.
Finally.
Nice.
I opened like 3 ETBs of Fusion Strike just to get one.
Damn.
No, and
Oh, no.
Taku found one for me, so it worked out
Let's
great.
go. So the league challenges are going to be your smaller, relatively local events, pretty much just like an amped up local for points, some points. Your cups, these are your bigger events. These are the big ticket items for your local area. You're going to have people that are traveling 2, 3, maybe more hours for a league cup. So fully expect a long day of events, because the way that Pokemon works is the number of entrants means changes the amount of rounds. So especially these very early league cups, expect large numbers. You're going to see those 48 kickers for these points very often, pretty much at any event. Maybe even seeing that 100 kicker every now and then for like the larger venues and stuff like that as well. So keep an eye out for your cups. If they have an option to pre-register, which most shops do nowadays, definitely get in there. You don't want to show up on the day of and they've hit capacity and you drove 2 hours and now you can't play Pokemon cards. So if they have a pre-registration option, definitely go for that. If your shop does not have a pre-registration option, talk to them about it. It's not that hard to set up. You can have them set up just a Google form. If they have a website, I'm sure that they can do it in some way there. As long as they can find a way to get things set up and get people into the system early, that's just really, really good. So, as you see, this is a championship points breakdown. First place gets 50 points. Second gets 40. Top 4 guarantees is always going to get 32. And then the same kicker of 24 gives points to top 8, which is 25 points. Very respectable for getting a top cut. And then you have a kicker of 48, top 16 gets 20, which is very nice. And then the 100 and the 200 kickers, you're usually not going to see very often as the regular size events and stuff like that. But we do need to talk about one more important thing, and that is the best finish limit. Bobby, why don't you break down what the best finish limit means for these cups and challenges? The best finish limit, Bobby, this thing right here. This thing right here. You know what a best finish limit is, you goob.
No, dude, I'm totally blanked out.
Remember back in the day when we could only have 8 tournaments, right? Now it's only 2.
Yeah,
it is only 2. So yeah,
it's been a little bit.
Fair enough. So, but yeah,
See, I was playing more in Maryland than anything, and more than down here.
All right. Well, since Bobby had kind of forgot what best finish limits are, but it's okay. It's pretty much it's all in the name. A best finish limit is how you are limited to your 2 best finishes for your points. So if you go to 3 challenges and you win all 3, you are still only getting 30 points for 2 challenge wins. And so yeah, keep that in mind whenever you're going to your events. You of course can always play for the prizing and stuff like that, but if you have your best finishes already, then maybe try to help out your fellow competitors. Of course, nobody deserves any wins over anybody in the Pokemon card game, but there's that. League Cups is the same thing. If you have gone to 4 League Cups and you won 1 and got second at 2 and third place at another, then you will get your 50 points for the first place and 40 points for one of your second places. So that is your best finishes. So you will get 90 points for the quarter for those League Cups. So it's a very interesting system. And the way it is mathed out, you can actually get your Worlds invite on just locals, which is pretty cool. I do expect that this best finish limit is going to go up. In the past, I believe it was 8 per quarter. I don't think it's probably going to go that high, but I could definitely see 4 or 6 going forward. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. I guess now we can have a little bit of a conversation about best of 1 versus best of 3. So, challenges. Bobby, what do you think? What is the best way to run a league challenge? Are we looking at best of 1 or best of 3 for league challenges?
I like best of 3, personally. It gives you an opportunity. If you lose game 1, you can come back game 2 and 3 and take the match. If best of 1, you brick game 1, you don't get another chance. Like, perfect example, when we went to RC and Dallas was playing in the Switch tournament. They were deciding whether to pick best of 1 or best of 3. I was like, well, best of 3 is better because if you lose game 1, you don't get another shot. Dallas lost to Gudra game 1. Game 2, he came back and won, and then game 3 he lost, but still he had a chance to win the match. Best of 1, you don't get. To me, it's horrible. It's good for if you're playing it for fun, or if you're just doing 4 rounds and want to get it quickly done and over with, like they do for the opens at regionals.
So yeah, that's fair. Dallas, what are your thoughts on best of 1 versus best of 3 for league challenges specifically, since you have actually gotten the experience of playing in the challenges?
Yeah, so whenever it comes to league challenges, I'm also a very firm supporter of best of 3. My issue is when it comes to best of 1, and if I'm going into a tournament knowing that it's best of 1, I'm not going to play Lugia in a best of 1 situation, because the deck has a break. I'm more likely going to bring Lost Fox because I have so many outs, and it's a deck that I can play my way out of. Lugia sometimes will have this moment. So at say for instance on Sunday, I finished 3-1. In all 4 matches, I lost my first game. So hypothetically, if that was just a standard challenge best of 1, I would have gone 0-4. But because it was best of 3, I was playing Lugia. I was able to bring out 3-1.
That's
I feel like it levels the playing field a lot more because certain decks that are very, very strong do have that brick potential for a game at least.
For sure. All right, so I am in agreement. I do believe that best of 3 is the best possible representation of skill for the game, and 50-minute rounds is typically not that long. However, I would like to emphasize that this is a very case-by-case basis. It depends on the league, it depends on the area, it depends on the audience, and it depends on the store owner and when they want to run their tournaments. If they're starting their tournaments early, 10, 11 o'clock, maybe even, I think that it's perfectly acceptable to run a best of 3. It's not going to take all day. You're usually going to get 4, maybe 5 rounds for a league challenge at most. And as long as you provide decent prizing to make it worth it for people, I think that best of 3 is perfectly acceptable. However, if you are a newer store, if you're a smaller store, you just aren't like a hyper competitive store, I think best of 1 is perfectly acceptable. And I think that like I said, best of 3 is the best representation of skill, but challenges, in my opinion, are more for just trying things out. You got to think, there is a ton more challenges than there is cups. So being able to just run through a bunch of challenges in a quarter, because you can realistically go to, 20 challenges a quarter, if that, probably more. I don't know. I can't math. I'm bad at math. But, so being able to plow through just a bunch of challenges and just having fun, maybe sometimes just bringing something stupid to a league challenge. I mean, like I said, this is basically like your amped up locals. So, maybe sometimes you don't always want to go super try hard on challenges, and that's perfectly acceptable. So, yeah, I think it's all down to what the owner wants to do with their challenge and go from there. So, however, now we get to talk about cups. And in my opinion, as long as you are making it worth it for your players, I think you should always run best of 3 for cups. Unless you're, for some reason, having to start late in the day, which I think is just not something that you need to be doing with these cups. Like, these cups should, league cups should have, like, at least a 10 o'clock start time. And I get, like, a lot of people are saying, like, well, we don't want them to travel and, and stuff like that, but you need to have this. And, like, this is the most amount of points in the area on the line, so you want the people to make it feel worth it to come out for your League Cup. And to me, best of 3 is definitely going to be worth it, because I know there's a lot of people that will see best of 1 League Cup and won't even bother going. So, but what do you guys feel on this? Like, are you kind of in the same boat as me?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to cups are much more competitive than challenges. I think cups should be as close to a regional representation as possible, because it's basically the step right before regionals or special events. So, I mean, it's nice to get as close to that certain representation to even where you have the top cut. I mean, on challenges, there's no point in a top cut. Basically, best record, congratulations, you win. But when it comes to cups, it's nice just to have that very close, accurate semi-representation of what you're going to be facing at the higher levels.
For sure.
I agree. Best of 3. If it was best of 1, I wouldn't even attempt to even go. Well, if it's anything best of 1, I don't even go. I don't even bother with it.
That's fair. So I personally feel that that's pretty much about it. For best of 3 cups, as long as you're starting it at a decent time and you are making it worth it for the players coming out with decent prizing, the points already are a pretty decent prize, but you should probably throw a little bit of extra at your players that are coming. I think that best of 3 is going to be the best way to go, and it's going to pull the biggest crowd, and that's what I tell people. Like, of course, though, it is always up to the tournament organizers' discretion, and if they want to run best of 1, they are going to run best of 1, and there's nothing you can do about it. So pretty much league challenges, like I said, this is your smaller, more like amped up local basically area. So think about just what you would bring to a local. If you want to have fun, if you want to play to win, that's fine too. And then your cup is your bigger event. That is the one that you really want to go try hard for if you're going for those championship points. Both of these events, you are required to have a deck list. You can print out a deck list as long as it is 1-to-1 with your thing that you did. Dallas definitely ran into that issue once this weekend and had to rewrite his entire deck list. So it has to match the cards that you bring. And then the judge is supposed to do at least 10% deck check on the field. So at least 10% of the field is supposed to be deck checked. Usually that's like just 1 or 2 decks, and you'll find you'll get like one person, like I did with Chris. I checked Chris's deck because he got the round 1 bye, and then I deck checked like Preston's deck on round 4 or something. It's nothing too crazy. But yeah, it's as long as your sleeves are in decent quality, as long as your deck list matches the deck that you're using, you're never going to run into any problems and you'll be okay. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Dallas, since you're relatively new, is there any other questions, thoughts, things that you would want people to know about these tournaments now that you're kind of relatively new to it?
Yeah, so honestly, the biggest thing that we've glossed over is when it comes to cups, yeah, points are cool. Playing against your friends is really cool. But there's one thing that's like just fantastic about cups is if you win, you get that super sweet play mat.
Ooh, that's true. Yes. I completely skipped it. So yeah, we get play mat. You get play mats for winning a cup. I actually have a couple out here. But yeah. Bobby, is there anything else as a more experienced player that you would like to share with those out there?
I mean, besides from everything we covered, like, it's more competitive for cups. Challenges, have fun. Cups, take it a little bit more serious, like you're actually playing for something.
So yeah, and I think that there is one more thing that's very important to say, because I hear it a lot every now and then, and I did this myself back when I was in my grind, especially around the last few rounds of a cup, because they do award a lot of points. You will hear somebody say, "Are you going for your championship invite?" And then they'll be like, "I am, and I'm this many points away." If they say that, don't let them. You can answer them. Do not ever feel pressured to forfeit to your opponent just because they're going for championship points. Nobody ever deserves to win a game of Pokemon more than another person. I don't care. And if I hear that at tournaments, because I heard it a lot when I was more of a player. I heard it brought up a lot, and sometimes it got pushed a little too hard. And it's very scummy. Don't be that guy. If somebody doesn't want to concede to you, and because they're just Joe Schmo Pokédad, and they beat you in round 5 of a tournament, and you miss top cut, accept it. Get over it. Go back to the next one and do better. There's nothing else you could do about that. I actually lost. I actually lost out on a cup that exact same way, and I was pissed. I was pissed. I guess I was playing Greninja Break. I needed. I think I needed like 80 more points or something like that, and I had a good matchup into the top 8, I knew, and I lost round 5 to get the winning into top 8, and I was pissed, and I stormed out of the venue, and I never went back to that store, and just learned from my mistakes. It's not good. And yeah, so don't be that guy. If anybody ever seems like they're pressuring you into giving them the win, please call a judge. Call a judge. You can use it. Nothing's probably going to come of it, but just you do not deserve to win a game over anybody else just because you're going for championship points and Pokédad isn't, So, but yeah, that's pretty much my little spiel. Don't do it. It's very dirty. It's very mean. It's not very good sportsmanship, and learn from my failures. So yeah, but yeah, so that's pretty much the little spiel I got on League Cups and Challenges. We can kind of take a look at regionals, as both of you have played in regionals, and I have actually judged the most recent Charlotte regionals. So yeah, so regionals, these are your massive events that are all over the country, some up in Canada as well for us North American players, some of areas like Latin America and Europe, they get some more special events. I don't really know why they don't get regionals as much. It doesn't matter. They're the same freaking thing pretty much anyway, so whatever. So, Dallas, what do you think? What was your experience at your first regionals?
Okay, so I was sitting at home bored watching YouTube the weekend of Orlando regionals, and it popped up as a suggested video to watch regionals. I'm like, cool, let's watch it. I watched it, fell in love with the game, and went out and bought a League Battle deck and started building Mew and playing Mew immediately. So 3 weeks later, I'm at the Knoxville regionals. All over. I'm finishing 3 and 6. But I had so much fun being my first regional, and like since then, I've done Charlotte regionals, I've done Fort Wayne, I'm going to Connecticut, going to Milwaukee. So
he's on the grind.
It's honestly a
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, this is your large multi-day events. Saturday and Sunday. It's gonna be played. So you'll say day 1, day 2, and then you just got more. Bobby, what are your thoughts on regionals? I know you've been to a couple.
I have. Well, I've been to 3 of them. I love them. I have a blast. I've been to the Greensboro Regional when it was for
Mhm.
expanded. That was
I
a lot
hated
of
it.
fun.
I didn't play.
I loved it. I was playing
Oh
Peek Around.
God.
It was awesome. Uh, I went 5-2-3, I believe, in Greensboro.
That's actually pretty good.
I needed to win one
Yeah.
more game.
Still
Yeah,
pretty good.
Peek Around. It was just go. Knoxville, fun, worth it. I stopped playing because I got really hungry and the food lines were
Mhm.
super long. Charlotte, it was okay. Charlotte was okay. I mean, I had a good time. I went 0-2 drop. I played Reggie's. I should have just stuck with Lost Box because that's what I was familiar with. But I still had a good time. I mean, I go for more of the experience of hanging out with friends and chilling, meeting new people, and everything. I always have a blast, regardless. Um, regionals, I trying to go to Connecticut. I'm definitely going to Milwaukee and then the
Oh, you
NAIC
definitely are going
in
to
Ohio.
I think I'm actually probably gonna end up skipping out on Milwaukee. But I'll be going to NISC with you guys too. So, but I'm
Yeah, I'm
definitely
going
going
to
to
Ohio.
Hartford as well. So that's good to know. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah. So regionals, these are your large events. If you're coming in from out of town, I highly suggest get in Friday, get to know the venue. Walk around. You got your vendors. You got side events all throughout the entire weekend. So even if you're not just a player, there's plenty of stuff to do. It's just such a fun experience. If you're a judge, speaking from somebody that just judged his first regionals, it is a lot of work. It is exhausting, but good Lord, is it worth it? It's so fun. I had a ton of fun. It really helped me in high pressure, like a more high pressure judge situation, which is good. And needing to make sure that your calls are 100% correct and accurate, learning the process and everything like that. It was so fun, and being able to interact with a lot of more experienced judges as well was really good for me to learn from them and stuff like that, and just learning the process is awesome. But so regionals are excellent. Regionals are awesome. I would highly suggest if you have a regional in your area. I know a lot of people listening to this will probably be in Charlotte, so it's already done and over with, but you never know. So yeah, check it out. Just go get you a spectator pass and just walk around and enjoy the environment. I know my kids love it. We took them to Charlotte and Greensboro before COVID and everything like that, and they loved it. My wife enjoys it. She spends all my money on plushies. So there's that. So this is regionals is an excellent experience, and it awards a ton of points, as you can see in front of you. First place gets 200 championship points, which is amazing. 160 for second place, 130 for fourth. Top 8 gets 100 points, and it just kind of goes down from there, and you still have the kicker system as well. And pretty much all regionals at this point are going to be hitting that 400, and some are even going to be getting close to that 800 or more as well, which is pretty crazy to say. I do think that these points kind of need to be readjusted because getting top 128 at a regional, a little bit more challenging to getting first place at a cup, and getting top 128 awards less points. So, it is what it is, but, I would love to see them maybe readjust these points and stuff like that, but it is still really good. So it's really good way for you to get some points. Top 256 isn't actually that bad to get, as long as they can get that kicker. 128 is a little bit harder of a push, but I've gotten, I think, 2 or 3 top 256s at regionals. It's not that bad. It's pretty fun. And it's like these guys said, it's such a good environment to be in. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for regionals. You guys have anything else to say about that?
No.
Not much. I'm still kind of a rookie when it comes to regionals. I've only done 3, but I'm looking forward to hitting a total of 5 this year, and then we got the big IC.
Yeah, and speaking of the IC, the International Championships, there is 4 of them throughout the year. NAIC here in the good old US of A, usually in Columbus or Indianapolis or something random in the Midwest that's terrible, but they go to it anyway. So yeah. And then we have EUIC, which is always in a really cool place, like London this year was really nice. I think it was in Germany the year before that or something like that, or before. You have the OCIC in Oceania, which is, again, in really nice places. And then you have the LATAM NC, which is also usually in very cool places like Sao Paulo, Brazil, and stuff like that. So pretty much the long and short of it is everybody gets really cool places for their IC, and we get the Midwest. so yeah, but whatever. It is what it is.
I would rather have Indiana than Ohio.
I guess. I don't know. But there's so many cool places in America, and we get, like, Columbus, which, whatever. Like, it's fine. And,
I mean, honestly, like a 6-hour or 6 or 7 hour drive.
It's not too bad for us, yeah. It's not too bad. It is very central, and that's what I do like about it. It is a very central area, but, you know, they could put us in Texas or something. You could go, like, Austin. Austin's pretty cool. San Antonio, something like that. Dallas. So yeah,
absolutely.
But no, yeah, but I don't know. Despite all that, the Internats is fun. Have either one of you actually been to an Internats?
Never.
No.
Okay, so I'm the only one in this podcast that's actually been to an Internats. It is a ton of fun. I did not go as a player for TCG. I was playing Pokémon at NAIC. When they were doing that, but I did enjoy some time in the TCG as well. These tournaments are massive. We just saw EUIC hitting 1,500 players, and it's only going to go up from there, especially for the NAIC. It is usually the largest tournament of the year, and EUIC could definitely compete with that going forward, I think, as well. Seeing that such a great turnout from this last EUIC, but yeah, this is going to be a massive event. If you are going to NAIC, it is open to everybody. I see a lot of people asking, can they qualify for NAIC? The only thing in the Pokemon TCG that you have to qualify for is Worlds. Go nuts. Enjoy the experience. It is awesome. So, but yeah, and as you can see on the screen right now, but for those listeners, this is a massive repository of points. That 200 points from a regional, you get that for top 16. 500 points to the champion automatically pretty much claims them a World's invite right there. That's insane. So yeah, and then it goes all the way down. Top 512 gets 60 points, but that's a kicker of 1,600, which we haven't actually hit yet. But top 256 getting 80 points is very, very respectable. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so these NAICs, have fun. They are a 3-day event though, so keep that in mind. They start on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just Championship Sunday. So yeah, so keep that in mind if you go to it. Don't expect it to be like a regional where tournament play starts on Saturday. I actually saw a ton of people get DQ'd from that when we were playing Pokken because they thought tournament play started on Saturday and it started on Friday, and there was like 20 people that weren't there. So that was kind of hilarious, but it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say about NAICs. They are an insanely cool experience. I would highly suggest if you are able to make it out to one, and we will be there at NAIC this year. So yeah, anything else about ICs, guys, that you would like to chime in about? And I know that you guys haven't actually been to one, but excited, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm just grinding, playing on TCG Live every chance I get, doing the late night series events, going to locals every week. sometimes 2 and 3 times a week. And just ready for the experience and to cram 6 guys into a hotel room again.
Let's go. It's okay, Bobby. I'll cuddle with you.
We always cram. Okay. Oh man, we always cram so many people in a hotel room.
It's all good. It's all good. We all make it comfortable in our own ways.
Oh man, as long as we don't take Lilligan,
Oh god,
right?
yeah. Oh man, but no, yeah. This, so yeah, I look forward to going to the ICs. The ICs are great. They're super fun tournaments, and yeah, like I said, I would highly suggest going to one if you can, because it's just such a fun time. But yeah, so that's pretty much a breakdown of this. Of the championship points that you get from these events, all the other fun stuff. Like, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to hit us up. We have Dallas on the rocking the Twitter right now. I'm of course taking care of the YouTube side of things, and Bobby is dragging his feet on the TikTok, but it is what it is.
It's set up. It's set up. I just gotta.
We're making progress. We're making way. We are on Spotify now. If you are on YouTube, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm working on other things as well. Hopefully, maybe I'll get on the Apple Podcasts here pretty soon as well. So there's that. But yeah, that's just a quick little breakdown of this of the things. So let's go ahead and just hop on over. And let's take us a nice little sneak peek at some of the stuff going on over in Japan. So this is a Pokeka book. This is a really cool resource for Pokemon stuff over in Japan. They have excellent articles and stuff like that. They have stuff about breaking down like what happened at City Leagues, which City Leagues for them is pretty much the equivalent of a cup, and the gym battles are pretty much the equivalent to our challenges. So keep that in mind for that. So and as you can see, like they have just so much like information and seeing what's going on at events and stuff like that, and they have breakdowns. So we're going to only really look at this past weekend, the top 8 summaries, which is very, very cool. We have like a nice little chart here as well as they breaking everything down. We see Lugia and Gardevoir sitting around 16% each, which is pretty awesome. And then Arctina, Lost Box, or Lost Tina, excuse me, Chien-Pao, Ting Lu, Miraidon, Mew, and some other decks filling out the rest of the meta. So this is a really cool resource to get a sneak peek at what's going into the future. So yeah, you guys' thoughts on just this meta breakdown. What are you guys thinking?
Diverse.
Do what? Diverse. Yeah, I like that.
I love the diversity with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice that they're getting away from not having just the quintessential, okay, we know what the top 8 is going to be. Now, so diverse, we have no idea if it's going to be a Gardevoir deck, if it's going to be a Lugia deck, if it's going to be a Mew, a Lost Box. Like, there's so many options now. And even with the Snow Blizzard or whatever it's called?
Snow Hazard and Clay Burst. So
Clay Burst.
I like Clay Burst.
Yeah.
I mean, new cards coming out. Preview of what to expect.
Yeah, they also have the Triple Beat set out there, so they pretty much have 3 sets that are all going to be put into our Paldea Evolved set. So we're just getting like a nice little sneak peek here. So we'll only really look at a few. We're not gonna like go deep dives into everything on the board. But yeah, so starting off strong here at this first event, we have to keep in mind that these lists are very kind of small. So their quality isn't the best, but we can see. But we have 2 Lugias in first and second place right here. This is running a pretty much pure colorless with a couple attackers like the Weirdeer, the Radiant Charizard, and this really cool Luxray. So yeah, what do y'all think? Lugia still on top. We see a couple cool cards like the Iono. I hate that card. But there it is. And Jet Energy. This is Luminous Energy, I think.
Yes,
And
Luminous. That's kind of big for a Charizard right
and
now.
I
yes,
forget what this energy is called, but I'm gonna call it Scramble Energy because it's basically Scramble Energy. So, and then this is Therapy Energy. So, yeah. Whenever we get like a more condensed set list for Paldea Evolved, we're going to look at like the full set. But yeah, so what do y'all think about Weirdeer Lugia missing some of its interesting pieces?
Weirdeer is an awesome underrated card. I see people like when we were messing around in Lugia format, the Silver Tempest, which was not fun, at least for me. Shadow Rider when Radiant Eternius came out. I put a Weirdeer in the deck, and it won me a lot of games because of all the energies and just hitting hard, and my opponent didn't even expect it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I give it respect if you don't see it.
For sure.
I mean, honestly, Radiant Charizard making a comeback, and I never thought I would see a Snorlax in a Lugia deck.
Now, here's the interesting thing. We do see the Snorlax, and we see the synergy with the Therapy Energy. For those of you that don't know, Therapy Energy just basically says you can't be put to sleep or poisoned or paralyzed or anything. So Snorlax is just sitting there bopping 180 every single turn, which is just beautiful. So yeah, this Luxray is very cool, and I'm gonna actually look it up. So yeah,
I am glad that Therapy Energy did not come out when Silver Tempest was around, because that would have hurt Articuno, that would have hurt the Zekrom. There was a couple other, even what was it, Yellhorn.
So yeah, so this is the Luxray that they have. This is a very cool card. And it says it has an ability, Overflowing Fighting Spirit. If you're down on prizes and it's in your hand, you can just put it straight to your bench. That is so cool. That is so cool. And it does 180. If you are down on prizes, you get to plop this out of the bench, and then your Scramble Energy is activated. I know it's not called Scramble Energy, but it's Scramble Energy. And then that becomes 3 Rainbow Energy while attached to this thing. So this thing can come out of literally nowhere, down on prizes, and swing 180 damage. That is just ridiculously cool.
And it's only like that.
Also. What's that?
I would play it.
Oh, and it's only a single prizer, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So this is such a really good, this is a really cool, interesting inclusion, and I'm very happy to see that. So yeah, but that's looking like Lugia is going pretty strong. This is looking very similar. We see some, I believe that's a block Snorlax in there, but it's very similar. We have our boy Squawkabilly. Squawkabilly is very cool. That's definitely, I don't know how to spell it. Squawkabilly, there he is. Squawkabilly EX. You can use this ability once during your turn, and only if it's your first turn. Discard your hand, draw 6 cards. You can't use more than one of this ability per turn. So now the fun thing about this is very similar to a lot of cards that we've seen, like Dedenne and Crobat and stuff like that, but it's not a coming into play ability. So a Nest Ball lets you turn this ability on, which is so cool. And you can use this only on your first turn of the game, but it's so much more accessible, and you can play other cards, so you're not like locked into, do I want to do this before a Crobat or something like that. You can just do whatever you want and then end on Squawkabilly and keep going with your combo. Amazing card. It is very limited because it only does one, it only does its ability on the first turn of the game, so pretty much it's dead every other turn of the game, but it's such good advantage, and I think this is just really well-designed, a well-designed support Pokemon. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So, like... no, go ahead, Bobby.
No, you're good. You're good. That was my fault.
So, Squawkabilly is never going to be used as an attacker, because he's only hitting for 20. It's an awesome card, for decks that are running a lot of basic energies, and it's never going to be used in a Lugia deck as an attacker. But it's great because, say Squawkabilly, for example, you can use it. You can get rid of your hand, and then say if you get a Professor Burnett or a Boss's Order, That way you're able to thin your hand, and at the same time you can also play a supporter. It's awesome because it's basically acting as like a miniature professor's research.
Very good. So yeah, I do think that the attack is not terrible. 20 damage isn't much, but it is sometimes enough to push into damage, and accelerating some energy is pretty cool. So yeah, not too bad. But yeah, we see a lot of cool other things. We do see the Iono again. We see a Tool Jammer, which is pretty cool, and a Path and a Lugia, which okay, that's something. And then Radiant Gardevoir. So everything else going down, we see another Lost Tina. That's pretty cool. We have this new Spiritomb, which is very annoying for decks going forward. This is coming out in our Clayburst, Paldea Evolved. Basic Pokemon V have no abilities, so we are still getting V hate into the second set of the EX era, which is interesting.
That is a giant.
What's that?
Man,
Honestly,
don't blame you.
Yeah. So this is just a fun. It's just kind of funny. So yeah, it's very funny. It's very cool to see. Lost Box evolving, including some Jet energies. We got another Lugia here. We have Miraidon. So rocking Klefki. I hate this card, but it is what it is. Nothing really new on Klefki going right there. We have a Mew, which is rocking kind of like a fusion. Get it? Of the two Mew builds. So yeah, kind of. So actually, this is actually kind of very similar to like something that I was doing. Like hybridizing the two different Mew builds, and I got inspiration from Japanese formats as well. So this is pretty cool to see how Mew is, evolving and stuff like that. We pretty much the only new card is the Iono, so there's that. And then we got another just more standard Lugia that we're seeing, that we see nowadays. We do see like a Tool Jammer in there, which is pretty cool. The Squawkabilly and the Ionos. And then to round out this top 8, we have the dreaded Drifloon with Gardevoir. Oh my god, everybody's hyping this up because we have this new tool card here. I forget what it's called. It's like some kind of charm thing or something. I don't remember. But pretty much what it does is you have 50 more HP on your basic Pokemon. And yeah, that lets you there it is. Charm of Courage. Basic Pokemon to have 50 more HP. So that lets you power up Drifloon to with Psychic Embrace and just plow through things for a ton of damage. That's really cool. Solves your Vulpix problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And this one's playing the Mirage Step Kirlia, which makes me so happy. So yeah.
I like that card.
Oh man, so yeah, I think it's really cool. Also, something very interesting. They don't play a Zacian in this, which is very cool. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, there's no Zacian in this deck.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, Dallas doesn't like Zach. So yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Oh man,
I'm not crazy about him either.
So yeah, there's a lot more things there. Very cool little representation here. We do see 4 Lugias in their top 8. We'll try to go through a little bit quicker here because we are running down a little bit, but I do want to point out this deck right here. This is Palkia with Chien-Pao and Baxcalibur. So yeah, Bobby, I know you're super hyped about this. Let me bring up Chien-Pao and let's talk about this guy.
I'm excited about the other one too.
So yeah, which one? The Tinglu or the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ting
So yeah. So this is Chien-Pao EX. Yeah, it's very cool. So Bobby, go ahead and break it down for us a little bit.
So basically, this solves your bucket problem since you lose bucket during rotation. I like it with the Lugia. You can just what's the word I'm looking for? ramp your energy to your other to like you used to with Palkia and Teleon.
Mm-hmm.
Toolbox it potentially, but a little less the toolbox, more just going in, spamming for the attacks, from what I believe. But there's probably more to it. But once we get it, actually get it in my hand and test it out more, I will definitely understand how good what it can do more.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I mean, it's like a giant Wailord at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, for those of you who's just listening, this is Chien-Pao EX. Has an ability, if it's in the active, it basically is a capacious bucket. You search your deck for 2 basic waters and put them in your hand, and for 2 water, discard any number of water energy attached to any of your Pokemon in play, and you do 60 damage for each. So with that ability, plus the new ability of the new Baxcalibur that's coming out, which is literally just Rain Dance. You can use this ability as often as you want. Attach a basic water energy to one of your Pokemon. No restrictions. As a stage 2, this is what you should have. No restrictions. It's Blastoise.
Yep.
It's Blastoise.
Blastoise.
Y'all know.
Yeah.
it's Rain Dance. It's literally just Rain Dance. So this is just such a cool, so cool to have Rain Dance back in the format. And water is still such a good deck. Water's still such a good type. It has Palkia still, which is still a really solid attacker. You have this new Baxcalibur. You have Greninja, which gives you sniping options. They actually played a Snorlax in here as well, which is awesome. This is just such a cool archetype, and I am definitely, looking forward to this. Another card that they play, which is pretty cool, is Superior Energy Retrieval. This is a card that is a very old card that's getting reprinted. It basically, you discard 2 cards and you put 4 basic energies into your hand. So that's very, very cool. So think of, I think it was Nessa, that kind of did something similar, but now it's on an item card, and you just get to, say Baxcalibur, put them wherever, and then you just plow through things with Palkia and Chien-Pao. So this is definitely an archetype I'm looking forward to, personally, because it's just Pokemon I like, so there's that. So we have some more Arctina with the Vulpix, which is cool. We have the Lugia, this is the Lugia with the Deoxys. This is like a fusion Lugia, which is interesting. It plays the Deoxys, that's all of them, which is pretty cool. Honestly, not too much else really going on there, but it's a cool thing. So, there's more Miraidon in top 8, which is nice. There's here we go. This is what I wanted. This is a Ting Lu deck. This is the other one. That I really like as well. So this is Ting Lu EX. Dallas, what do you think about this? Why don't you break this one down for us?
I mean, it's very different. Honestly, I'm a big fan of seeing fighting Pokemon that are actually making a difference. And I think it's going to be a pretty good counter for the Miraidon decks as well. So basically, it has the ability. It says as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it says that your opponent's Pokemon that have damage counters on them have no abilities, which is going to be huge. Like, say if you're a Lost Box player, for example, it's great because I'm like, cool, I'm going to take Sableye and sprinkle damage on everything you have to make sure that you have no abilities. And then also it's hitting for 150, and then you can also put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which kind of just further promotes the Pokemon's attack as well. And it's only 3 fighting energies.
Yeah, also to note that this is placing damage counters. It's not spread damage. So Manaphy doesn't block this too. So that's really cool. Also something to note with the ability is it does not turn off EX Pokemon. So even more V-hate. So there's that. But still, I think this is really cool. Because this also shuts down, like you said, things like Lost Box. Shuts down pretty much anything that has damage counters on, like Radiant Greninja. You can't use that. Archeops. It turns off Archeops.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty insane. We finally have something that turns off Archeops.
We had one. It just rotated.
That's true. That's true. So, but yeah, so I really like this, and it is paired with Koraidon EX, which came out and provides acceleration. They play the Magic Spoons, Radiant Alakazam to move the damage counters around, which is really cool, and of course the Hawlucha that places damage counters as well. So, yeah, this is such a cool deck. I'm a little concerned it's gonna, be a little too slow at times, but if it can get up and going, and Tinglu is a chunky boy, he's 240 HP, and you have the Charms of Courage to boost him up even more. He can take a hit. He could take a hit. So yeah, but yeah, so this is kind of the other poster child of the sets, the the Clayburst side of the Snow Hazard, so that's pretty cool. So to see Tinglu getting some representation up there as well. So we'll scroll through here because I know I did definitely see some other interesting things. We see another fusion. This was Arceus Deoxys. That's kind of neat. We see another Chien-Pao deck. This is more of like a pure Chien-Pao. No Palkia. They have like a small barrel line as well, which is pretty cool. Playing some paths, which is kind of cool.
I like that.
So yeah, we have Arc Goo still making some representation. We have another Palkia Chien-Pao deck, which is nice. And we have another Tinglu deck. Here we go. We have a Hisuian Zoroark V-Star deck. There we go. There's one that you guys knew I was going to drag out. So
I definitely knew
it. Man. So this is really cool. This is Hisuian Zoroark V-Star. Very cool to see how this is adapting. Very interesting because we see it incorporating Radiant Charizard with some of the Luminous energy, which is like super wild. But it's still a very straightforward, just punch stuff in the face deck, and you gotta respect that. You gotta respect.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, honestly, not really a whole lot to say about this. I just had to pull it up because, it's my baby. It's my baby. I like it. So, so yeah. So that's pretty much that. We do see a Regidrago deck, which is the last one on here that I did want to touch on. This is really cool. So Regidrago V-Star was a card that came out, it had a lot of hype, and it never really freaking did anything, despite actually having some pretty decent attackers in the deck. But who knows? Maybe we actually have some tools here, because now we have Squawkabilly for boosting some consistency. We have the Spiritomb to shut things down, but more importantly, we have a new Forretress EX.
God, I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
Forretress EX. Let's see. Come on, show me. Whatever, I'll find it this way. But yeah, so this Forretress EX is very cool. I just don't remember which set it came out in. So he's good. There he is.
Awesome.
There he is. So I misspelled Forretress. That's why. But yeah, so this thing is awesome. So it's a terrestrial Pokemon, which in the TCG is the most underappreciated mechanic that they've made. I hate it, but whatever. It has the ability explosive energy. You can use this ability and knock yourself out, so your opponent takes 2 prize cards because you are an EX, but then you search your deck for 5 basic grass Pokemon and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you want. So you're giving up 2 prize cards and accelerating yourself for pretty much the rest of the game, which is just insane. That is
awesome. I would actually pick up the stuff. I'm actually thinking about picking up the stuff since I saw that deck on Poke.io, and it won in a small 64 player event, and I'm like, that's broken. I'm probably gonna pick up some of this stuff before people hype it up and it makes the prices go crazy.
For sure. So,
yeah.
Makes me cry a little bit.
And of course,
even not then, it's a good fun deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, you can pair this with the new Iono, which is pretty much just the bastard child of Marnie and N. So there's that. Shuffles your hand into the bottom of your deck, and then you draw cards equal to your prize cards. So you can force your opponent to pretty much start the game with 4 cards, which is just insane. Yeah. So yeah, and it only gets better from there. So yeah, Fortress pairing with the Regidrago, which is very cool. But there is also another new card in the deck, and that is a new Noivern EX if Limitless wants to load. So this is very cool. Noivern has always had very interesting cards. He's never really had like the most insane cards in the world, but he's had very interesting, very cool ones. And we have, for double colorless, during your opponent's deck turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. And we've been seeing a lot more basic attackers. Think of like Chien-Pao. Think of, other things. This Lost Box, yeah, for sure. So Regidrago just popping 70 damage on Lost Box every turn, knocking out their comfies. You can't hit it with Cram. That's really good. So that's really strong. It also has the Dominant Echo, 140 damage during your opponent's next turn. They can't play special energies or stadiums. So it's pretty much most of a Chaos Wheel. Awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. And that definitely shuts down some decks. Of course, Lugia doesn't care because it just gets them out of the deck. But,
that hates on Mew.
That does hate on Mew, yes, indeed. So yeah, I think that this is really cool to see Regidrago getting some love because it always had pretty decent attackers. It has Giratina V-Star popping 280, very respectable damage. You have the Duraludon VMAX that says it can't even be walled by like something like Miltank because it just can plow right through it, doesn't care. And then you just have Goodra, which is just good damage and reduction. I mean, everybody knows how annoying Goodra is. Now you got it on freaking Regidrago VMAX as well. So, I'm really happy to see Regidrago do something. I just think this deck is so cool. So yeah,
That is cool.
I mean, I was secretly hoping that we were done with Reggie in general, but no.
Oh man. So yeah, this is a really fun little look at some of these Japanese decks. So there is tons more on this website. It will be linked down in the description and stuff like that. So please go check that out. I think we've kind of touched on a bunch of stuff that I wanted to. But yeah, go check this out. This is really cool information. We did miss a few kind of neat decks. Like I know I saw like some Wo-Chien decks in here and stuff like that. So we see like a Leafeon V-Star and V-Max deck doing something in top 8. That's really cool. We see a Hisuian Zoroark V-Star winning a tournament, 64-person tournament. That's making me hype. So yeah, it's just there's just so much going on here, and like you do have to keep in mind like these are basically their league challenges and league cups, but that's really
they
cool.
are also best of
that
one.
is true.
Yeah, they are best.
Because they play in Japan. They are best of one, so that is very cool. So
yeah.
All right, so that's I think that's just a nice little look at everything that's going on there. So did I close out the event locator? I think I did. Whatever. Look at me go. So we're going to pop up the event locator, and we are going to hop over there to that. If I can figure out the right scene that I want to go to. And here we go. So what are you guys excited for this weekend? We'll probably make this a little bit shorter of a conversation. Because we are running a little bit long here, but we do see that we have a couple league challenges and league cups going on in the area this weekend. We have the 29th. We have R&B Games hosting their league challenge. We have Dead Elf Games hosting the same day, and Bounce Holly Hunters. I don't know which store this is. This is Spandex. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that's the 29th. So we have 3 challenges on the 29th. I believe you guys are going to R&B. I don't know, but
yes, on Saturday I'm going to the challenge at R&B, and Sunday I'll be attending the Cup. There is a very important side note for R&B. R&B is posted on Facebook that for attending the Cup on Sunday, it starts promptly at 10 a.m. and they strongly recommend having everyone show up as close to 8:30 as possible in order to go through deck checks, registration, and making sure everything transitions smoothly.
All right, so yeah, for sure. I will be actually down at Dead Elf on Saturday. I'm going to be helping them with their challenge. It is their first challenge as store owners, so that's really cool. Excited for them. So I'll be down there,
Nice.
helping them out with that. But I do, of course, wish you guys luck in the challenge on Saturday. So yeah,
Probably do the Cup on Saturday. Is Dead Elf on the Saturday on well, the Cup on Sunday. Is Dead Elf on Saturday?
Dead Elf's challenge is on Saturday, same day as R&B and Spandex.
I might check out there because I've never been there.
It's a pretty cool little shop. It's not too bad. I enjoy it.
Is there an estimate for how many people should be showing up to the challenge?
Dead Elf probably is going to be, I would say probably no more than 20. Honestly, R&B, I don't really know. It could go either way, honestly. So yeah.
I know R&B is projecting upwards of 70 for the Cup.
Oh,
Yeah, I could
geez.
definitely see that.
Well,
So,
I could see that.
R&B, which we'll talk about because this is actually the only Cup this weekend. This is going to be a lot of people's first Cup in this new little era. So, yeah, like we said, fully expect a very long tournament. This is probably going to be a 6-round Swiss tournament. It is going to be best of 1, I believe. At least the last time I talked to Keith, it is a best of 1 Swiss rounds. So yeah, keep that in mind. I will happily addendum that in the comments if I was wrong. But as far as I understand, as last I talked to Keith Friday, it was planned to be best of 1 for Swiss, and then of course we're gonna have the top 8 cut, best of 3. So there's that.
Where's that at? R&B?
R&B, yes. So
I might
keep
not
that in
go.
mind. Oh, just go anyway. You'll be fine, you big baby.
I don't like best of 1.
I know. You'll be fine. Of course, I will be at R&B. I will be judging there. We actually have a nice little team of judges for that. We have 3 judges and 1 runner / apprentice. So judging stuff will be actually taken care of very well. So I'm excited for that. That will actually be my first Cup back judging, which is going to be very fun. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. For those that care, Otaku is having an Pokemon Go League Challenge. I have no idea what a League Challenge for Pokemon Go is, but cool. So there's that. That's cool. And then so yeah, that's what's going on this weekend. Like I said, I will be at Dead Elf on Saturday, and I will be at Sunday at the Cup at R&B in Statesville. So if you see us around, feel free, say hi, let us know about the podcast, let us know if Bobby's audio is better. So yeah, and yeah, so but that's pretty much about it for today. Is there anything else that you guys have to close out?
I got nothing, just patiently waiting for this weekend. I'll definitely be at a local league Wednesday and Thursday this week, so trying to get those last minute reps in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow and Thursday. Saturday depends. Sunday definitely depends if it's best of 1 or 3.
I will be going to R&B on Friday. Checking in with Keith. And just seeing kind of what the plan is still.
Yeah,
because
let me know. That would be my ultimate decision.
So yeah. So the thing is, so we do have it right here. It does say best of 1 on this, so I would assume that it would be best of 1. Bobby, just play best of 1. You'll be fine. So yeah, and then best of 3 top cuts. So that is what it says in this, but this is technically subject to change, so keep that in mind. So yeah, because yeah, and a shout out to the organizers. Put good descriptions in. Don't just copy and paste. I see you. Please. I see you guys out there. I look at this stuff. Every week. So I see y'all. I'm not naming any names, but I see y'all. Just copy and pasting. But anyway, that is going to be it for me today. And Bobby, Dallas, sign us off. Any final thoughts and all that fun stuff?
Always have fun with this game.
Always have fun.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and honestly, oh, go ahead, Bobby. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Honestly, the only thing I can chime in: relax, have fun, and please use fresh sleeves.
That's yes. Don't make me give you double prize penalties for bad sleeves. It's really easy. I'm usually not that bad at locals though. I'll just be like, yo, get some better sleeve, bro. So yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much about it for today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. We love you all. Deuces.
See you.